this is Maria. Today I'm making a milk caramel. This will be the easiest caramel you've ever made. The ingredients are simple. 1.5 cups of sugar, 4 cups of milk, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a jar to put it in. So let's do this. Let me start by saying you definitely want to do this in a large pot. This has a tendency to boil up when you add the baking powder. So definitely use a large pot. This will boil up on you and you don't want it spilling all over your stove. We add our milk to the pot first. We'll add in all of our sugar and mix that all up well. Make sure it's thoroughly mixed and your sugar has dissolved. We're going to hold off on adding that baking powder until after this is warmed up. I like using a low setting, so it does actually take me, it's anywhere 5 to 7 minutes before this is ready to add the baking powder and let it cook up. So we'll just let that warm up. The steam is really coming off of it now, starting to heat up, but not simmering just yet. We want to wait till it's actually simmering before we add our baking powder. A little difficult to see past all the steam, but our milk is now simmering. This is the perfect time to add our baking powder. So we start quickly with our wire whisk to reduce that, to bring it back down. Make sure you use a wire whisk for this. I mean, I guess you could get away with using a wooden spoon. I find the wire whisk works way better. And we just want to reduce that and let it simmer. You might want to lower your heat if you find that it's boiling up too much. Give it another stir and just keep letting it simmer until it reduces and caramelizes. As it thickens up, it will start to boil up and you want to reduce your heat and stir. Still simmering away, really starting to get some color though. So I'm starting to get some great color there. It's almost where I want it. It's thickened up nicely, so I'm just going to let it cook down for a few more minutes. So my caramel is pretty much ready. It's taken on a nice color. It's nice and thick. It doesn't bubble up anymore when I stir it. It just has a nice creamy consistency. The color is perfect, and you can tell by the way it stays on top when you let it drizzle down. So, yeah, I'm going to remove it from the heat and put it in a jar. This is a heat-resistant jar. If you're not using one, I would wait for it to cool down a bit before you put it in the jar. I would also wait for it to cool down before putting the lid on the jar. You don't want to trap any moisture in there. So our caramel is ready. Went pretty quickly. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes depending on how high you have your heat settings. Like if you want to do more stirring, you can set the temperature higher and stir more frequently. If you want to take the slower route, the slow cook route, you can keep the temperature lower and, stir every so often. I find this consistency works perfectly for me. I find it's a good multi-purpose consistency. Just let it cook down really well. As you can see, it's like a really great consistency. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching.